We are live. Welcome everybody to tonight's BBR 72. Tonight's open mic Monday. We had kind of a gap date. We decided to just fill in on anyway. Next Monday we'll have Anthony Whitaker on at 2 o'clock in the afternoon because he's in the UK. So there is, because of the time difference, he'll be on at 2. But for tonight we're going to do open mic, which means everything is fair game except politics, right? So bring your questions in here, get involved. Let's all chat back and forth. Besides just us ad-libbing it, ask real questions if you have any business questions or non-related business questions, just in general, and hopefully we can help you out. In the meantime, Andrew, James, thanks for joining tonight.
Hard to believe, number 72, Andrew. It's like
It's amazing. It's amazing. We're headed down the pike towards 75 in December.
yeah, I think we should go back to every night. Let's see if we can hit 100 before the end of the year. What do
Why
you think?
not? Why
Yeah,
not?
right. Pump it out. So Cheryl asked about PPP loans on the Facebook group. Cheryl, you got to be more specific with regard to PPP loans. There are a lot of people getting notices right now on their PPP loans and their EIDL. I think it's EIDL, right? Economic Injury Disaster Loan. EIDL loans. Some of them are getting questions on whether or not you have hazard insurance and things like that you're required to have. Which means, guess what, guys? They're going to start contacting you now to start paying back those loans soon. So, I mean, we're 6 months into this thing when most people got their loans. So, they're moving a little faster than you would have suspected, but the government, to be ready at the 12-month period is going to start asking you questions. So make sure you have the answers for them. Make sure you have your hazard insurance and those other things. But I'm just waiting for her to get back to us on Cheryl. Make sure you post out what you wanted to know about the PPP loans. Lynn Winslow says ideas to increase retail sales now through the end of the year, both in salon and e-commerce. So I'll let you guys start and then I'll jump in. James?
Yeah, I mean, I would say packaging is always a good thing at this time of year. When I do my retail training for salons, I always, you sort of have to do an analysis and say, well, what do you have? What are your offerings? What do you have? So if there's things you have to move, obviously you pair your bottom 20 with your top 20 and sort of do a 3-pack of different products. I'm not big into the discounting. So I would say if you get club points from either your distributor or from the brand you carry, look for fun ways to package things together and use your points to get them so there's more value for the client, but use that value. So, let's say it's a $20 travel size product that you're going to couple up with a hairbrush or something else. Make sure that the value, you can show the percentage, you can show what the savings value is on it, just because clients like to know that. I mean, especially now, right? Everybody's trying to save a buck with, who knows how COVID or job loss and things affected them. But just make sure that the messaging is consistent. Make sure they're on the stations, whatever your promotions are. Make sure if you do have a display, I know our waiting areas are closed in New Jersey, so we do have a display you have to walk by when you come into the salon. So, we'll decorate it depending on if it's Halloween or you can see my turkey behind me there that'll probably make its way to the salon tomorrow. But just make sure that it's on the stations too, because the last thing you want is clients to come back and say, hey, I bought that shampoo and conditioner last month and there was no deal, and be concise on how long that promotion is going to last too. But definitely start to think about some fun things. I mean, little things that you can package together are great, but try to find price points that are going to meet different criteria. So if you can say, hey, package A is a $25 price point, this is 50, and wow, here's the luxury box that's 150, but give them some options because people love options. What do you think, Andrew?
I think that those are all great ideas. And I just want to add something. If you don't have a website that from which you can sell, if you don't have Salon Interactive, get Salon Interactive today, do not delay. And if your website, if you're selling from your site, make sure you beef it up, make sure it's looking holiday. And then I would recommend, and this kind of flies in the face of everything that has been taught to us, I would recommend that you set up email campaigns and send out a daily email and make it a story, make it fun, and then have something to sell at the end. Get people's interest, but do it that way. But be in their mailbox every single day from now until the new year.
Yeah, you know what, Andrew, and that's a really good point. And one of the things you guys can do that we've done with our last bunch of client emails, you have to figure, right? We're hair color specialists where we are, so most clients are going to be in gray-haired age brackets. Which, no offense, some people get gray hair young, like me. Um, but they're probably there's a good chance that they have kids and people are looking for things to do. So we've been adding things that have opened. So whether it was a drive-by jack-o'-lantern festival in Sleepy Hollow, New York, which is close to us, or things that were open, things that you could do with the kids during COVID, we make sure that we put things that aren't just about the salon, and then we put our offerings in. So our clients look forward to getting that email because they say, "Wow, those guys have great ideas and they always have something fun," or whether it's a charity we're supporting or a town event, make it something they look forward to getting. If there's information in there they can use, listen, just the fact that you have a deal on shampoo doesn't hurt anything that it's in there, but make them look forward to it.
Absolutely. Be
Yes.
upbeat, be fun. Everyone in this group is really creative, and you all have things to say. I've never met a hairdresser or a salon owner who doesn't have something to say, something witty, something funny, something charming, and your clients love that. Do not worry. Just say things, tell them little incidents, little stories. Everyone loves gossip. Give them gossip and then have something to sell. Really.
So, so what I would say, what I would add to the conversation, well, before I say that, Michaeline asked a question, is Vivian's first in there? Yes, she's
Yes.
on our YouTube channel. Her first interview is on our YouTube channel.
Both happen to
Michaeline.
be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're both in there.
Yeah.
With regard to retail, I've got two comments. Number one, on the e-commerce side, you got to be competing. You got to, all you salons that are just the standard operating system, you got to get in the 2020s, right? And hopefully 2021, not 2020, because that's been a horrible year. But what I mean by that is you've got to start competing against Amazon. You got to start competing against, what's their name, Madison Reed, things like that, right? So get your e-commerce game up to speed. Study it a little bit. Find out what that means, right? Now, as far as out of the, there aren't that many out of the box things because everything that's out there has already been created. It's up to you to create it in your own atmosphere. And what I mean by that, take some of the ideas of you see with more successful companies and make them your own. Make them your own. If you can't do it on your own, then hire somebody to do it for you. But it's super important right now. The other thing I would say is the other crucial piece is your team, getting your team to sell retail. And the way you get your team to resell retail is not just by saying, "Hey, I'm going to give you 10%," right? I mean, that's a beaten dead horse, right? It really is. So, I wrote, and it's in the Salon Owner Mastermind group. I believe it's in the files of the group, the buddy system. And what the buddy system is it pairs your stylists up in teams of two. And those teams compete against each other monthly for prizes, awards. You can give out dinner, you can give out money, whatever it might be. But at the end of the month, they get that team, the winning team gets a reward. And you got to set a minimum amount they have to get those rewards. But you'll find that by doing that and then rotating the teams on a monthly basis, just have them pick numbers out of a hat. So it's random. So the best isn't always with the worst and vice versa. You'll find that your teams will outperform what they've been doing all along. It makes it fun. I had a salon that the teams all got to wear different things, right? So team A we'll call it the Oompa Loompa team, right? And they wore a different color all month. Things like that. Make it fun. Make it a game. Make them get involved. Pair them up.
Yeah, have people.
Yeah.
Derek's absolutely correct. People support what they create.
True. And
People support what they create. And
They have to have the buy-in.
and you people, look, you have a greatest asset is your people. Greatest asset. And everyone wants to succeed, everyone wants to do, everyone wants to be better and have a voice. Allow them the voice, have them tell you stories, make stuff up, guys. 10 heads are better than one. Even
True.
two,
Yeah.
even two heads are better than one. This is a time to really get together with your team and set goals. By the way, James, we forgot to mention, set some retail goals, put the charts up in the back, have fun. Who was it? Go back to the BBR. I think it was Patty Mead had some really good stuff about retail.
Yeah, Patty's on the call tonight too. Patty,
Hey,
if you have any
Patty,
fun stuff, you can post it for us. But Patty does a lot of
please.
fun things.
Boris Oak had a great episode, right? Boris used to work with Bumble and Bumble, and set the retail sales on fire. So look at some of those episodes. I mean, it's all there, but you have to get creative. You have to get there. You have to learn it yourself as an owner, and then you have to pass it on to your team. Get them to buy into whatever system you decide to do. And what I mean by that is you say, hey guys, here's our goal. Here's what I'm thinking. Now you tell me how we get there. Let them give the ideas to get there. You set the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Derek was the one that gave me the team idea last year. This is all pre BBR. We were doing some coaching together, and he was the one that told me to match up the teams, and we did. And we actually jumped it another level, and we used our credit card points to do Amazon gift cards. So when we did our sales contest, especially during the holidays, we did most improved, right? Listen, your top seller in the salon, your retail hound or your hustler is going to always be your number one. So we tried to find creative ways to, we strategically match the teams up with some of the best and some of the ones that struggled so they can have their own meetings. We let them, we did most improved. We did, whoever sold this many hairbrushes, we made the contest and jazzed it up a bit so that you had multiple winners without people feeling left out. But what happened for us was after we continued that in to the following year, we started to let the teams meet, and they said, hey, I want the promotion ideas from you guys. So you come into our meeting and you say, hey, here's 3 ideas that our team came up with, and let me analyze it. And they said, there's no such thing as bad ideas, but it also has to be practical, right? You can't say, hey, we want to do buy one, get one free of every product in the salon. We know those kind of things don't work, but they came up with some great ideas. They attached to really, National Donut Day type of odd holidays or fake holidays or Hallmark holidays. And it made it fun. They actually got interested in it and understood how it worked. And when the prize is attached to the points or education classes, that's much more of a motivator than saying 10%, right? Because if I tell Andrew, I'm going to give you 10%, and he's like, that's great. 10% of what? What am I giving you 10% of? You don't sell anything, Andrew. I can't give you 10%.
Yeah. So,
National Donut Day is a really important day for all of us big donut fans. But seriously, I go to a local bank here, and the thing that's most fun about it is on the teller's station they have this little calendar that lists like today's National Donut Day, today is Groundhog Day, today is all these crazy things. Here's an idea for you guys. Get one of those calendars. I'm sure you can get one online. And every day send out an email and let your people know, hey, today is did you know today's National Donut Day? Today is National whatever. And they'll open up your darn email. And because you got to get them to open up the email. And then you tell a little story, and then you pitch your product of the day and make it relate to the story. And
Yeah,
there you go.
James,
I'm going to ruin.
Let me just tell James, give me 1 second here, because this is like one of my biggest pet peeves. I've got to jump in here. Andrew's 100% correct. And I don't want to say but, because that's not the right word. Do what Andrew is saying. What I'm upset about is owners, and I saw a couple of you already posting here, worrying how many are going to opt out of your email list. Guess what? Your email list is about quality, not quantity. So many owners go, oh, I got all these emails, but I'm afraid to send them an email. Guess what? Then you don't have an email list. Your email list should be used to you, trust you. You got to be in touch with them on a regular basis, and to hell with them if they opt out, right? Because they're not a core client. The core clients are going to want to hear from you. They're going to want to hear these cute things like Andrew just said. And that's what an email list is about. It's not about 10,000 names. It's about having 1,000 names that are going to produce money in your business.
So here's something I can just lend to that, because I study with one of the great email marketers of this country. And anyway, I sent him a question today because I have a list and I haven't been sending out many emails. If any of you have gotten an email from me, it hasn't been from the list, but I'm going to be sending emails out daily emails. So I wrote to him and I said, got a second? I have a list that I haven't sent out to in quite some time. And I'm going to be sending them out daily emails. He said, and I'm just concerned, I'm really not concerned about the opt-out. I'm concerned about the shift in trust, because you don't want to be on my list. And then all of a sudden, you get email after email after email, what's going on? And he said, rightfully so, he said, hey, warm them up. Let them know that what you're doing. Let them know that you're going to be sending out a considerable number of emails daily, and let them say to them, hey, if that's not something you like, please just, opt out, or just, let me know and I'll take you off the list. Now that's from a guy who really knows his email stuff. So
Andrew, one of the biggest, and I don't even know if there was a whole book on it, but it was certainly a segment. It's called the 9-word email, right? It's sending a direct message in the beginning of starting to warm them up, saying, hey, I just wanted to let you know, right? And if I can be of help to you, let me know. And you send that out first and get their interest buying back into you and trusting you prior to just spam mailing them, right?
Yep.
But it is important to nurture your email list, clean it up. Don't worry about the amount of people on it. Worry about the quality of people on it.
And entertain them. People want entertainment. Every day, guys, let me share with you. Every day I get an email from Karistas. Every day I get it. They're not worried that I don't open it. They don't care. And every day I get an email from Shuamura. Do you think they care? No.
I think I get the same emails as you, Andrew.
Yeah, I'm sure
Or
you
either
do.
that or you're checking. Hey, listen, if you're going to check my emails, at least delete some of the ones that I don't want to read. You don't have to opt out. Just delete them. Clean it up a little bit for you.
But really, I guarantee you, people are there in the email box. But if you're coming with good faith and you really have a lot of funny things to tell people, entertaining things to tell people, and also valuable products that they ought to know about, and they will buy from you because they like you and they've been entertained. Take that approach.
Yeah. So we have two questions coming in. I want to answer. I'll go to the first one. It was on Facebook. How do you get a stylist busy, a newer stylist busy quickly? And my easy answer to that would be, look at what Groupon does. Don't go to Groupon. Look at what they do and create it yourself. Like I said to you earlier in the episode, when you find an idea that works, make it yours. Make it happen. It's like learning a good haircut, right? You go to a haircutting class. You're not going to learn to do it exactly like it was, but you're going to take the pieces you like and make it yours. So you're going to do the same thing. Model Groupon. Groupon got to be $1 billion company for a reason. Okay, you want to get your stylist busy, create Groupon type ads that you do and keep all the money. Okay, of course, if you're a Salon Ninja client, our Salon Ninja platform allows that very easily. If you're not, then you need to learn about landing pages and posting links and creating those things to drive traffic to that particular stylist.
Derek,
James, Andrew?
Funny you should mention Groupon, because this morning I haven't seen a Groupon post in my mailbox for a long time, certain months. And I got one this morning and I said, they're back. They're back. It's like, they're coming
Yeah, they're not
again.
going away.
They're
not
not
going
going,
away.
they're not going away. And what Derek said is so true. That's how you build newbies. Do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and follow the fine
James?
print. One of the interesting things with Groupon is if you look at the bottom, they always have their fine print. So our joke is when we do like a donation gift card or something like that for a tricky tray, it says the not so fine print, not available with all stylists, not available these days. And it has the
Yeah.
parameters so that they can't come in and say, hey, I didn't know about that I couldn't use that. I mean, you don't want to give away your busy Saturday appointment. I mean, you can, if it's a freebie or if it's something promotional, you can engineer anytime you want. We have in the past done something with, it's called Town Hall Guidebook in our area, but new movers get a really nice booklet in the mail and it's exclusive advertising. So there's only one pizzeria, there's only one hair salon, which is us that are in. And pre-COVID, it was a complimentary haircut for somebody that just moved into the neighborhood. You can check with your town hall. Your town hall actually may do that. Some of them have like a welcome wagon, and it's a great way to get
James,
people in.
just so piece of advice for anybody that doesn't know this, there are a couple categories if you want to do Facebook advertising and link it to a campaign. One of them is recently engaged within the last 6 months, so you can go after weddings, right? The other one is recently moved into your area within the last 6 months, and that's a Facebook category that Facebook tracks by the Facebook demographics. Run an ad to those people. It's the exact same thing that James is saying. If there's a will, there's a way. You have to put your homework in. You've got to create your mind map of it. And then once you have a mind map, if you can do it on your own, do it on your own. If you can't, find a mentor that can put it together for you.
Yeah, think of outside of the box things. I mean, listen, everything now is not as easy as handing business cards out like and pounding the pavement like you could before. But the digital side is so much easier. If you haven't trialed or tested out Salon Ninja, the marketing funnels are unbelievable. I mean, why make your life? Listen, printing is expensive, right? And then you have to, who decides what the design looks like, and you have all the decisions. I mean, man, if you could do these Facebook ads and drive them back through your Salon Ninja platform, like why recreate the wheel? It's so easy. And I have to be honest, I know we started before the recording, and I said that we had a potential contact COVID case in our salon. The fact of being able to communicate with mass amounts of clients, right? So you got to cancel 14 days worth of clients in a minute on a Sunday. The Giants won, so let's say I had more than a few beers to celebrate their second win of the season. But being able to do
Against the Redskins.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not the
You're not
Redskins
supposed to.
anymore.
No. What do they call it?
Washington team. Sorry.
What do they call it?
Anyway.
The Washington what?
Washington football team.
Yeah.
I mean, that's as creative as they could get, Andrew.
Team.
They should have called us. We could have helped them
The
name it.
Washington football team. That's really good.
They but you use the platform like that, and you're able to communicate with these new clients, and it's just so easy. Because clients, listen, I don't expect any of you to work 24 hours a day. I'm not an advocate for that. I like working smarter than working harder. But when they want to send a message and you're able to send something back right away, or send them over a link to either something press that you've done, or photos, or your Facebook page, or your Instagram, you send them a paper mailer, or you do something like that, you lose a little bit of that timing in between, because sometimes you know what it is, you're new to the neighborhood, or you're dying to get a haircut. Do you want me to tell you by the time you got my mailer that it's 3 weeks, or you have to wait until after Thanksgiving? Or would you rather text me through Ninja and have me try to find a spot to be able to put you in and be able to get that instant communication? And mind you, that's not even on the phone. I don't even have to talk to them. So, no mask on, no mask on at home in my, Derek and I were joking this morning about suit jackets while you're in your PJ pants, which I am not, by the way. But it's just
James is going right out and creating that, right?
Yeah.
Matching pajama pants. For the
suit jackets that match the PJs. Yeah. Pinstripe PJ pants.
There you go.
But yeah, listen, and it's an all-in-one, so it just makes it that much easier, just to communicate. And I think that's a great way. That would probably be my first choice to try to build a younger team, without a doubt, because I feel like you get so much more stretch.
I'm trying to think who it was Sarah. Sarah had asked a question about, let's just go back to it. So I have it exactly. Bear with us. What's the best way to have the team rebook? Sarah, it's almost exactly what we said for the other part of this segment, right? So as far as, you can team them up, give contests for who rebooks them the most, the same as retail sales. But more importantly, I would say if you have a guest services team, they should be saying right out of their mouth, the stylist wants to see you in 4 weeks. The stylist wants to see you in six weeks. Just like a doctor's office. I did a lesson way back called Book Like a Doctor, right? When you're at a doctor's office, they don't ask, okay, when do you want to come in again? They don't. Those words should not be in your vocabulary, even in a salon. The stylist wants to see you in 4 weeks. The stylist wants to see you in 6 weeks, just like the doctor says, right? It's so important to have that ingrained in your guest services team. The other thing is, hey, the holidays are upon us. COVID's upon us. We're really booked up tight. We want to get you in for your next appointment. How about in 4 weeks, we put you in? What works better for you, the latter half of the week or the first part of the week, right? Something like that, because you're not leading them to something open-ended. You're leading them into exactly what you want them to do, book. So make sure you're training your guest services team to this.
Hey, if you don't, just thinking about this, if you don't have one of those systems for, a little card system that used to punch cards, do we have that on Ninja? I don't know that we do have that, little rewards card. Get your next one free after 10 visits type of thing.
Quiet, we can certainly make it.
We ought to. I'll tell you.
Next on the development board.
and what really works there was a study done of car washes. And if you have a little card, guys, here's a trick. If you have, let's say, come 10 times and get your 11th free, on the first visit, you punch like 3. Okay, give them 2 free and then 1 for the visit. So, and it's been proven, you can go to the car wash study to see how that amps up their repeat business. It works. So maybe you can try that, because I've been hearing from clients that getting the rebooking has been tougher than ever.
Yeah, I think the uncertainty with the rebooking is something. I mean, what we try to do now, and what I would advise a lot of people to do, we still do a paper ticket. We do like a prescription. It's been our thing since we opened. It's a good communicator to pass around, and it looks a little more official because they're actually writing it out. So as it passes through, but we keep the ones that don't rebook. I mean, we have a really high rebooking percentage, which is sort of part of our culture. But I need to know why. So now at the end of the week, I can look and I can say, well, I know she's a college kid, so she's only home a certain time of year, so she was not a suspect. This one though, she's a color client. Why isn't she rebooking? And you can start to gauge and find out. So then you ask the stylist, oh well, she's starting a new job, or oh, she's moving, and just have a better understanding of why. So
why
that
don't you call them, James? Call them.
What's that? Yeah.
Call them.
Well, it's easy.
Call these people.
I text them through Salon Ninja, Andrew.
There you go. Hey, love you. What's going on?
Not only does James text them, but he does a cute little voicemail and blasts it out to everybody.
I love that. You know how many salons call me or send me messages on Facebook and they're like, I heard you talk about the voicemail drop. Listen, I worked in the mortgage industry for a really long time. And the voicemail drop, my uncle was in insurance when I was a kid, and they used to do this tape recorder thing, and it would just dial through the country all night long, those automated messages way before you had these robots and all the things that do it a little fancier now. But that voicemail drop, man, it's just crazy. You put them on a list, you have 20 people that didn't rebook, and the message doesn't even have to be personalized. It just says, hey, it's the salon call, and we just wanted to make sure you didn't rebook when you left. So we just want to make sure you don't miss out on a space, and give us a call as soon as possible. Or you can text back, and you click send, and it goes to 25 people. And then out of the gate, 5 will text you back instantly. Oh my God, I didn't have my calendar. So you just keep chipping away at that percentage, which is just great.
Just so everybody knows, voice communication is the most effective form of marketing. Right? The inflection is there. Text and all those other technologies we have are great, but the most important thing is body language and voice inflection. So they can't see your body, but they can hear the tone of your voice. So remember, when you're speaking to them, speak with the smile on your face. It's very, very important. When you're talking to somebody from behind a mask, have a smile on your face. They will hear the inflection in your voice.
Yeah, that is true.
Hey,
Let's
Derek,
let's
Derek, what are those little? I saw one last week. Uh, Someone showed me their phone, and they had a picture of someone that I know, and it was like an emoji, but it was a person's face, and the person was talking. Have you
Yeah,
seen those?
you can create your own avatar now on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
all
So
kinds of fun technology.
nin,
Don't
So
even tell
ninja,
me you have one.
no, I don't.
ninja.
Well,
I know, I'll bet you Angela does.
yeah,
I know Stephanie does.
it's too funny. So, guys, Michaeline had posted a question a little while ago and had asked about some ideas for bundling blow dries with bigger color services like balayage, because she's a la carte and clients are turned off by the added expense. So, I'll field that, and you guys can obviously push in because this is something we've dealt with before. Um, Michaeline, our services are also a la carte. We don't like the clients leaving wet. Inevitably we do have some 2 and 3 week clients that are like, "Hey, I'm just running to the gym and it's not a big deal," and they're pretty much standing appointments. But any of the bigger color services, there's no option. So it's the color with the blow dry with the glaze, and since post COVID, we already built the glaze in too. So our staff, the upcharge that's there, and if it's a client that doesn't need to be glazed, then they can have a clear glaze or they can have a conditioning treatment or something built in. So it's non-negotiable. But I would make that on your menu, and you can explain to the client and say, well, there's no way that you're going to leave with the $300 balayage and then not have a finish, because what happens if the tone needs an adjustment or something like that? There's no way to guarantee your work at that point, because now the client leaves, right? 25% capacity, which we used to be at least a week for an appointment. Now we're like 3. Now they call you up and they say, oh, it feels like it's a little brassy, or, well, now what are you going to do? You're going to open on Sunday. You're going to have them come in at midnight to get the toner done because they didn't want the blow dry. It's build it into the pricing. Don't even make it non-negotiable. That's just my
Well,
2 cents.
I can tell you from personal experience, my wife went to a new colorist, and the first time, actually, they did the works and everything, and it was great. Second time, there was no blow dry, right? And she came home, and exactly what James said about the adjustment, she had to go back. They had to redo it. It was really, you do someone a disservice when you don't do the inclusion. It's more costly for everyone. It's just not, it's not on.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. Remember back in, I don't know what BBR episode it was, but Jackie Young did a bundling lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, and you can go on the Salon Ops YouTube channel, check out Jackie's YouTube that we did on BBR. She had a great session with bundling. Bundling is so important now, right? Especially if you're doing higher end services such as balayage and things like that. Remember, what I would like most salons to concentrate on is these services like balayage, things like that. They're great. They're high ticket items, but your gravy is always going to be your cuts, blowouts, and your single process hair colors. You get single process hair colors going, you've got a money machine on your hands. Andrew and I had this conversation the other day. A lot of salons have gotten away from that by just thinking about the bigger, higher end ticket items, and they're great. But keep in mind, if you get a single process clientele, that means the women that are going gray, that are hopefully probably the age bracket between 40 and 60. You've got a money machine on your hands because they're in every 4 to 6 weeks, regardless. And guess what? If they're in every 8 weeks, you should be selling them a color kit at 4 weeks to do themselves at home with your personal touch on that product, right? So that's where the big money is, in my opinion. And I know it's I know it to be true. Otherwise, Madison Reed wouldn't be making millions of dollars in a short period of time.
Yeah, and there's we do a lot of single process colors in our salon. That's been our bread and butter since opening. You know, there are these little, even if the at-home color kit isn't something you want to do, I mean, there's a bunch of brands out there that either have a touch-up powder or a touch-up spray or something like that. They're usually not a lot of stretch in between the colors, right? They're maybe 5 or 6 shades typically in a line. That's a really low cost add-on item for a client that may be in every 4 to 6 weeks. You remember 4 to 6 weeks is 8 to 12 times a year, right? That they're actually going to physically be in the salon. So add up what the spend is on that. And if you have to throw them a product that's $20 that costs you 10 as a, hey, hide this in your glove box because just in case you can't get in to see me in 3 weeks and you're going to have to go the extra week, it'll be our secret. You can, use it wherever you need to. That's it. I mean, think of the value that it's like almost like your secret. Like, here, keep this in your desk drawer just in case your gray starts to show and you got a big meeting.
Yeah, they're your real they're your family. These folks are your family. And they can be your best ambassadors. Really. And we need all the ambassadors we can gather right now. So,
So we haven't talked about a book when we didn't actually have the author on, and we're going to try to get him on. But this is Peter Shankman. He's a New York guy. He's got a book called Zombie Loyalists: Using Great Service to Create Rabid Fans. Listen, Shankman's a funny guy, by the way. I'm surprised Andrew probably knows it. Probably lives next door to Andrew. He's it's the whole thing. They eat brains and then they want to eat more brains, so they keep infecting more and more people with the message of your business. But think about it that way. I'm gonna out. He's gonna be on, Andrew. We're gonna get it.
Good. This is the deal. Love it.
So post up your questions, please, everybody that's on Facebook. Thank you for showing up and post up your questions for us. Same thing with our Zoom attendees now. If you've got a question, post it up in the chat so we can bang out some more topics for you.
By the way, Patty Mead said bundling was our salvation after reentry. There you go.
Yeah, that's good. And we're going to try to work at the end of the year on cleaning up. I mean, listen, to be honest with you guys, when we started BBR, we probably didn't think that the closure was going to be like as long as it was. So it was a very ambitious task that Derek, Andrew, and I embarked upon in doing these calls. So the YouTube, even to try to get the YouTube videos to download, to try to put them in a cleaner format. I mean, they're like gigabytes. I mean, I have a hard drive sitting here that's like 6 terabytes that I'm downloading BBR calls on, and it's massive. But hopefully we'll be able to clean them up and we'll put some of the good ones up there. But definitely check out Patty's call. She's got some great stuff that you can do with your staff. Jackie Young also was really good.
She was great.
Yeah. We'll probably get Patty and Jackie on again in 2021 at some point, which would be pretty cool. Vanessa Rose has a class that she's going to be doing on conversations. What we're trying to do is say, look at them individually, but then smash them all together, right? If the conversation at the chair is right, which is your retail conversation, your rebooking, what promotions and things that you have, if the message is clear and the packages are available and your email marketing lists are going out, like they're not new concepts, right? You just have to do them consistently.
So Linda asked what I was talking about. It's not, Linda, it's not 9 things to do in an email. It's called the 9-word email. So just do a Google search called the 9-word email, and you will see hundreds of articles on it.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, well, that's Linda. You answered Linda's question. So jokingly,
Yep.
Linda, my famous saying in my household, so Linda posted in Facebook and said, you can lead a horse to water, ... My famous saying is, you can lead a horse to water, but you can only dunk its head so many times before you drown it. So you have to just be careful, at some point.
Tell you have kids, James.
Yeah. That's going in that might be the title of my first book.
There you go.
Drunken pony?
Yeah.
What? Drowning pony.
Right. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Very funny.
Oh.
Any other questions, folks?
Let's
Keep them
see.
coming.
I'm going back through to
Don't
see
be
if we
shy.
missed any. I think they're good here. So I posted in the Zoom, but for you guys that are on Facebook, Andrew earlier talked about the fun calendar at the bank that had all the oddity holidays and things that you might be able to get behind. You can actually go online. There's a site called daysoftheyear.com, all spelled out. And what's cool is you can click on the date and it'll give you multiple things for that date. So let's say, a certain holiday may be specific to a certain area of the world and not something you can get behind. It'll give you other odd things that may have happened. So when you plan your social media calendar, when you plan your email blast or whatever you're going to do, don't think that you're so stuck with just Valentine's Day. And I know the holidays get to be funky sometimes in the salon, especially in an area where we are in North Jersey, because you definitely have all mixed religions, right? So you can't really say, hey, we're a Christmas salon or hey, we're a Hanukkah salon. So you want to obviously be able to celebrate with all of your clientele. There are other fun things that you can add in that, there may be other odd days of the month or days of the week
Keep
in
going,
December.
Jane.
Yeah. Hey, listen,
So we've got a
as the natural salon, I got to tell you, it's funny that when we opened the first year, we technically opened in November. So, you don't really even own any holiday decorations for the salon at that point. So I said to my wife, everything, we have 100-year-old barn siding in our retail area. And I said, we're going to have to get something to celebrate both sides. So you need to get a menorah. So I looked and I'm like, why are they all so contemporary? Like everything was sexy, silver, like nice. And I was like, we're like this hokey, like organic space. So I actually made one. I had a barn beam that I drilled out. I put the candles in and everything. I used old wire. Can I tell you how many times clients are like, can I just buy that from you? And I'm
There
like,
you
no,
go.
I have to.
That's retail.
Hey, listen, that's the way it goes,
That's
man.
retail.
Okay, so we have a bunch of questions coming in on Facebook. I'm going to fire them off one at a time. We'll start with Lynn. Let's see. With Sue had a question. What unique ideas do you have to show your appreciation for your staff? Well, I don't think, in my opinion, I'll go first and you guys, I don't think you have to have anything unique, right? If you haven't had something that's working in the past, then I think you need to really refocus your team efforts. I don't think you have to be unique. One thing I will share with you is that from my perspective in past salons that I've owned, is that sometimes, or I should say, the majority of stylists that I've interacted with enjoyed gifts more than money. I know that sounds weird, but it's true. So, and I think that probably comes to, my wife always tells me a gift is from the heart. So if you guys want to chime in there on that question,
Yeah,
by all means.
so Sue also luxury wise, because I know the line she carries, she's U4 and Adventist, which are naturally formatted. So I would assume that your staff probably has something affinity to the natural side. So there's food things, there's a lot of fun stuff that, think about what somebody would send you care package wise that you would like. There's some fun stuff. In talking about our call next week with Anthony Whitaker, he's got a book called The Super Stylist, which is a great one if you haven't given that to your staff. He actually sells them on his website in blocks of like 6 or 8 or something like that. And they're pretty reasonable. The book is written really funky too. Like the text is really big. It's specifically for the psychology of the creative mind. The way that it's actually drafted up is a pretty cool thing. But I agree with Derek. I think our staff, they always get a little gift every year that sort of matches. We're lucky being named the Beehive. I'm actually running out of bee things to buy them at this point. But we always try to find something that is either matches with our company ethos or mantra, and it's something they can wear. So it's always fun. The weeks after the holidays, they all have their. I can't tell you what this year's is. It's actually really cool, but they've gotten honeycomb necklaces and fun stuff that they all really appreciate.
Andrew?
And ask people. What would you have a geez, sometimes we try to guess, and people, because we're afraid of asking, because we think the ask is going to be so big, we get it. And most of the time people just want a sign of appreciation that you honor them.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And between
That's
now
honor the struggle.
what is that? Well, no. That yes. We sell hats too. But truly, truly, show up every day and show your appreciation for them. And then you get them a little gift, whatever, Derek and James had plenty of ideas, and I'm sure you have ideas, but just show up your best self for them every day. Show up with the right energy, enthusiasm, and love. And you will have a great holiday season. I promise you. I promise you that. So
And that leads right into the next question. Lynn wants to know what are ways that people are hugging their customers. We could say it virtually, right? Not physically, and ways to show gratitude, appreciation to the clients. And I would say, and you guys can chime in also, and James hit it on the nose earlier, communication. I had this on a coaching call earlier this week, and I said, have you actually reached out to ask your clients, hey, how are you doing? I'm just checking on you. Or are you constantly marketing without really caring about their welfare? So that's how we hug them virtually. We ask them, how are you and your family doing? Right? And it's not when they're in a chair. It's getting out there and asking them through an email, through a voicemail drop, through a personal phone call, whatever it takes, reaching them when they don't expect it. That's a welcome gift to anybody.
It is. And you could do, it is so important every day, and maybe you want to share this with your team. Come up with one person that you want to touch base with. One person. That's all. And make sure it's done. And just do it. Do it. And challenge your team to do that too. Doesn't have to be a lot, just one person. Drop them a text, make a call. Phone calls are great. If you have Ninja, you can really do some wicked things with it. But just show up with the intention of having a great relationship with that one person today. It works. Really.
Yes. James, I know you're an expert at this. You do it all the time.
Well, and Andrew's right. It's that those touch points that you have to look for. We know it's not easy at this time.
Oh my gosh.
Listen, it's not easy across the board for anybody, but being able to couple those things up and we talked a little bit about retail and promotions and all those things today, but start to lay them out. And what's odd is I bet if you sat down at the table and you said, hey, here's my email marketing ideas, here's my client contact ideas, here are my retail promotion ideas. And all of a sudden, when you started to lay that puzzle out, you'd say, wow, there's actually some places where all this stuff starts to cross over. Mm-hmm. So it's not like you have to do the hunt a killer map and take the yarn and draw everything on your wall. But I'm also not against that, by the way. I love this post that sells these humongous notes that are all over my walls at some point. It's like, I'm trying to think like Howie Mandel, right? It was like when he tried to be the little kid with the big glove. It's like I have these humongous Post-it notes. All I need is a huge Sharpie, Andrew, to go with it.
There you go.
But when you lay all that stuff out, is have a plan of action and make sure that you include communicating with your staff, with your staff meetings, communicating with your clients and showing appreciation and have a plan. I mean, listen, we're starting to get into the end of the year and everybody likes to talk about resolutions. We had Joe Girard on last week and he says the 67 days, it's not a 30-day plan. It's really 67 days to build a habit. Well, get your habit set now so that when everybody else talks about they're going to quit smoking and go on a diet on January 1st and they don't, that you're like, oh man, I'm about 14 days away from making this a humongous habit that my company is always going to have consistent staff meetings, consistent email messages out to my clientele. We're going to make sure our communications are there by text and voicemail drops and all these things. Have a plan. Listen, 2021 is going to be here before you know it. I can guarantee you that 2021 will be better than 2020. I will bet money on the fact. Anybody wants to take that bet, I will bet money. So look forward to it. Like start some of those plans of action and couple all those things together.
Yeah, I mean, this has been probably, I was on a podcast today and I was asked the question, hey, what was the impact of all this? How do you see it? and it was Tina Black's podcast. Hi, Tina, if you're here tonight. If not, love you. But you know, it's been the most unusual journey ever, at least for me, and I'm sure for many of you. And let's, it is what it is, and all we can do is show up our best. And as we said way back in April or May or whenever it was, we posted something. When you look back after this is all the dust is cleared, and how you were being during this period of time, who do you want to see? What kind of person do you want to be? And it's not too late, because I think we have a couple more weeks of some of this stuff. So, at least who knows? So we have to be our best every day. And God
So we
knows.
have a couple more questions
Mhm.
before we wrap it up, Andrew. I know people are starting to drop off because
Okay.
we've been rattling on. God only knows the three of us can talk when we get
Yeah,
going.
we can.
But
You're missing the
we've got
best part, Derek.
We've got some questions coming in on PPE loans. So there's two different types of loans, PPE and there's the EIDL loans, right? So EIDL loans are basically small business administration. PPP loans are forgivable, okay? Provided you spent it on the right things. People are saying, okay, well, how do I get it forgivable? Well, there's rules to it, but I can tell you, if you have some money left over, write it to yourself as a salary, because that's forgivable. You don't, as long as it was used on a salary, it's fine. It doesn't have to be an employee. It can be your own salary. So write it to yourself, so it's all forgivable, and that way you don't have to pay it back, right? EIDL loans are not forgivable. They are what they are. They're 3.75%. If you have a lot of questions on that, follow Nikki Lee or get in touch with Nikki Lee. She's an absolute expert on it. I would say the best in the business on it right now, and she can guide you in the right direction. Okay, with regard to selling your business, while there's a PPE payback, PPE, there is no payback if you've used it properly. If you're selling your business, then and you do have to pay it back because you used it improperly, then make sure you build that into the price of the sale. Right.
Yeah, and Lori, I would say with the PPP, we did a quick analysis. I know everybody's sort of waiting for the government to come in and say, hey, anything under X is going to be forgiven automatically, which I have a feeling once those forgiveness applications start to come in, you're going to overwhelm the banks with them. So the rumor was 150. I heard anything under 100,000, they were just going to forgive. Anything $100,000 or below makes up some crazy number, like 87% of all the PPP loans. So you may see that. We just don't know when. But when we did our initial analysis, just payroll and rent alone in that initial opening period, we basically spent all the money. So we don't even have to get funky with submitting other weird bills and everything else. It's pretty easy. And your payroll company probably has reporting if you use one. So just ask them and they can do it for you.
Hey, Derek, you're
Yeah.
going to be on with Nikki Lee to talk about payroll. Aren't you going to be on in 2 weeks doing a compensation seminar? So, right,
Yes.
I advise anyone who has any questions at all about how they're compensating their folks to join in on that seminar. It's worth it, and that will be a gift to yourself for the new year. So, pay it forward for yourself.
It's a 2-day seminar on just your numbers, basically running your salon by the numbers. And it includes payroll. It includes all those things. I'll be on it. Nikki's going to be obviously leading it. Steve Gomez, a few other people that are really specialists in knowing your numbers. They'll be in there. So like Andrew said, great thing. Look it up on Nikki Lee's statements project website. Mm-hmm. You'll really enjoy that. As far as a couple of people were asking about rents and things like that, I've said it through probably at least 10 of the 70 BBRs, is if you don't ask, the answer is always no, right? So if you have something with your landlord, ask him, be honest with him. I need my rent reduced, right? If you have something with a supply house, I want my tubes of color reduced, something like that. If you don't ask, you're always going to get what you deserve, which is full price, right? You got to negotiate. So ask. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a great point. And for you guys, like I said, next week is Anthony Whitaker, and the week after, which is the 23rd, we'll have Nikki Lee on for another mini compensation lesson. And Derek, you guys are on that 2-day class is what, the 29th and 30th of November?
Yeah, I think that's the date.
Yeah, I
I'll
think so.
double check.
And
I'm
listen,
99% sure that's the date.
and I would say anything compensation related, post those messages to us in the group, because last time when Nikki was on, there weren't as many questions as she thought there were going to be. So if you do have some things, I have a laundry list of questions for her this time. So I'm gonna, she's gonna be in for it. But post them in there, especially to remember compensation ties into hiring. So if you're going to start to try to onboard some new staff as we get into the next year, tying in what does compensation look like? Because it's not all about the percentage you pay them. It's about what are some of the employee benefits and things that your salon offers. So keep that in mind for her call.
Exactly. So thanks everyone for showing up this evening. Andrew, any closing remarks?
No, you were great as always. And James, you're fantastic. I love you.
Thanks,
Love the
guys.
promotions. Really, 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 really. But we all closing remark, take action. Let's do. Let's do our best and even better than our best. Let's be it. Go for it.
Absolutely.
Thanks everybody for showing up tonight. We'll see you next Monday at 2 o'clock for BBR 73. We'll have the pleasure of having Anthony Whitaker on from joining us from the UK. And if you don't know who Anthony is, just check it out. He's pretty well known. So you'll love next week's episode. And we'll see you next week, everybody. Have a great evening.
Awesome, guys. Thanks.
See y'all. Bye.